I'm Amy Christensen with the Heritage Museum, and I'm standing here in Riverview Park in the Veterans Memorial Plaza. Today I'm going to be speaking with Billy Whisenant, who is the commander of American Legion Post 33. And we're going to talk a little bit about the history of this Vietnam Veterans Memorial and its history of having been built here in the community by hand by veterans. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial was hand-built by local veterans and dedicated in 1982 in the location where the fountain is now in the park. In 2004, it was moved over here to the corner of the park to make room for the fountain and park installation. So Billy, thanks for meeting me out here on this gorgeous Oregon day.
It's good to be here.
Really appreciate it.
Good to be here.
Why don't you tell me first a little bit about what got you started on researching the history of the memorial?
Well, when I first moved here, I didn't know that this memorial, what it represented. So I became a member of AMVETS Post 1776 and then was told that this was constructed by members of AMVETS 1776 and specifically by 3 Vietnam veterans, and was dedicated in July of 1982. So as a Vietnam veteran, I took quite an interest in it being a memorial that just happened to be in the place that my wife and I had moved to. So have a very big interest in it, in that it was hand constructed by Vietnam veterans, and that the history of it turns out through research, through the museum, and through Vicki McCubbin specifically helped, found out and verified through newspaper articles and various resources that this memorial was the first Vietnam Veterans Memorial in the state of Oregon, as well as the first one west of the Mississippi. So I thought that was pretty neat. I have a personal connection to it. I did serve in Vietnam from 67 to 68. So this has specific meaning to me, and that's why I became interested in it, to sort of let the folks know that this memorial represents something. And fortunately, through some efforts of Vietnam veterans and other veterans and community members, we were recently able to have a kiosk constructed that displays the history that I just mentioned. So people that are passing by will know what this represents. Our kiosk was constructed by a veteran, and our display case for the Veteran of the Month was also constructed by a veteran who happened to serve in the Marines at the same time frame that I was in Vietnam. So when this has the title of Veterans Plaza, it literally has veterans' fingerprints literally all over it. So that's what got me interested, though, my personal connection and the fact that I thought it was something worthy of people being aware of for history. And to me, I've mentioned it before, to me it's a big deal. It's that it's in our state, it's in our city.
Well, Billy, we've known each other about 4 years now, and I'm really glad for the relationship between the American Legion Post 33 and the museum, and to know you. I think you're a really fantastic person. I want to know what this means to you personally as a Vietnam veteran, to have this kind of memorial with this history here in your community.
Well, personally, this Memorial Day, I came down here by myself and sat. I tried not to get too maudlin about it. I certainly didn't gush any tears, but it's a place that I feel, for me personally, I can come and do a little bit of reflection on my time spent in Vietnam. And so I think for that purpose, for me, I don't know about other veterans, but it's a place to come and sit. And if you choose to, you can go back as far as you want to. I have a tendency not to live too much back in Vietnam, but certainly was a huge part of my life and a huge influence on my life. So that's why I really am pleased to get the recognition for this, and it means a lot to me. When it says on the inscription, to those who fought, served, and died in Vietnam, I've been to the memorial in Washington, and I have a friend's name there that I looked up and received the etching from. So it will always be a personal thing for me, and it will always be a personal thing for other Vietnam veterans. And so for that reason, that's why it's important to me. This weather's a little inclement today, and I was thinking on the way, inclement's one of the few, more than 2-syllable words that I know. I thought it was kind of fitting in a way that it was kind of raining, overcast, because a lot of the folks that this was dedicated to, they fought in the rain. They were cold in the rain. They were scared in the rain. So for a little sprinkle like this compared to a Vietnam monsoon, right. I'm okay. You know, it's a good reason to be here, as you said earlier. For any other thing, maybe not, but it's important.
Well, Billy, thank you very much for meeting with me here to talk about the memorial.
Thank you.
And why don't you go ahead and send us off with a little bit of information about the event this Saturday?
This Saturday at 1 o'clock, we're going to dedicate the kiosk. It's been in place for a while, thanks to the city installing it for us. But we're going to meet at 1 o'clock. It's going to be informal, not any, big speeches or anything, but with the purpose primarily of giving recognition to the many folks that help contribute to this being a reality. So that's basically what we're going to do. Very informal, 1 o'clock, and hopefully we'll have good weather, and it'll be okay. And some folks will come out. Hopefully some Vietnam veterans will show up. They certainly did on our rededication last year. There were Vietnam veterans in uniform, which did my heart a lot of good too. So
okay, well, we'll see you Saturday.
Lord willing, I'll see you then.
Okay.
Bye.